we've got a couple other things to do in a minute too, Peter. We have the combined shows points steer and heifer announcement, and who also the combined show point stud. Another competition that's held leading up to Beef Week.
And Darren, without going on about it, this has got a good feel about it this year. I mean, every year's a good year at Beef Week, but Brody and his team have done a heck of a job here, and they pulled the whole show together, and the quality's here, and I think the crowds are about on par, but wonderful sponsors, and certainly as good a array of cattle as I've had the pleasure of sitting up here and looking at. They've secured fantastic judges, and it's just got a real feel about it, and they really deserve a pat in the back. They don't get a lot of thanks for putting it together, but they are a wonderful executive, and if you see Brody Leisha and his team, just make it a bit personal. Say thank you for what you do for the village.
Just one thing I want to correct you on. When you said the crowd's on par, from what I can gather, it's up a fair bit. Like, we only sit in one area here, and I'm hearing so much about how many people are all the way around here, Peter. So we've actually, I think, from what I can understand, the crowd is a lot bigger than what has been in previous years. So
a little bit deceptive, but I reckon that would be a true story.
All right, we jinxed ourselves, Peter. Now we have a young man. What age roughly? About 30 to 40 walking around. The carer has lost him. Now, he does have a blue denim jacket on.
So if anybody could see that young fella, he's about 40 years of age, but he's coming through from his carer, and he has got a blue denim jacket on. So could you just keep your eye out for him? He would be moving amongst the crowd, but he's just come apart from his carer. So can you please let us know if he does, if you do see him?
All right. Rightio. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move back here into the beef ring, and I'm going to reiterate some of these comments towards the end of the day, because we're by far nowhere near the end of judging. We have a lot of great group classes and some tremendous cattle to come through, and then some wonderful classes to watch, but this is the pinnacle of the day in terms of the Supreme Beef Exhibit. We're about to crown here the Supreme Beef Exhibit of the Casino Beef Week, which I think is quite an honour for whoever wins that, so I just want to draw attention to that here today. I'd also like to take the opportunity, while we have such a great crowd here, to acknowledge the committee and everybody involved, the volunteers, the exhibitors, everybody involved here in Casino Beef Week. I think it's just a sensational event. So can you all put your hands together for these exhibitors and each other and your committee and your community for putting this event on. Truly has been an honour to go through all these individual cattle today, and I think just a wonderful display of what the beef industry has to offer, and certainly what this area in the Northern Rivers has to offer in terms of the quality of cattle. I think these cattle can hold their own anywhere in the country, if not anywhere in the world, out of their respective breeds. They are sensational, so congratulations to everybody exhibiting here today. I won't go and describe every one of these individuals to you, because I've already done that in their individual championships, but I think a tremendous set of cattle. As a group, I think display all the things that I'm looking for in cattle. In the females, we've got that femininity, we've got that constitution, the rib shape, the fleshing ability, the reproductive soundness, the udder quality, and the productivity. In the bulls, we've got the masculinity, that thickness, the thickness right from their skull through to their tail, the tremendous amount of performance in those bulls, the tremendous amount of profitability, I guess, in those bulls in terms of what they can bring to the industry. Like I just said in it earlier, I'm always looking for a unique individual, an individual that puts a few things together that are really hard to replicate. And as breeders, that's what we're always trying to do. We're trying to strike that balance between all of the traits that we have to select for, to put an individual together that does that fault free and brings as much to the industry as possible. And I think we've got some individuals out here that are all split because they all have that uniqueness to me. They all have a lot to offer. I guess in selecting my Supreme Beef exhibit here today, again, there's one animal out of the judging today that stood out to me as just being unique, extremely sound, extremely stout, just an industry-style animal, and I'd like to crown your Supreme Beef exhibit this year to the Charolais Bull. Congratulations to that individual, and we have to award a reserve here, reserve Supreme exhibit out of our individuals here, and hot on the heels of that bull, I think, was this tremendously productive young Santa Gertrudis cow. So congratulations to our reserve Supreme exhibit.
All right, so if you, Peter's here, and he just announced this. This is for the Thomas George Trophy. Thomas is out there with his two granddaughters, Molly George and Imogen George. So we have as well there, we have Grant Shedden and Brody. Don't forget to get in the photo, Hayden. So that was the Charolais Bull, which is exhibited here, Pete. I'll hand over to you.
That's the Stuart Robertson entry, and again, I just really want to compliment Hayden on the tough job that we assigned him, but that is a magnificent animal, and it's great to see Thomas and his two granddaughters out there keeping alive the George family connection with Casino Beef Week.
And the reserve was the RL Pastoral.
Number 97, Darren, cow and calf, that you were taken with earlier. You did make a comment to me what very classy unit they were, so well done, the RL Pastoral. Mate, how are we going for time and what's next?
Well, mate, while they're out there doing these photos, in a minute we'll do another presentation before we come into the breeders group, I think.
And again, do we have anybody at all from the Casino Food Company?
We've put a few announcements over there. Obviously, John Second was here earlier and there was a couple walking around, but they haven't sort of come forward at the minute they're there. So we'll... So once we get these photos over, we'll go straight into the breeders group, ladies and gentlemen. But also, Grant, you've got another presentation to do.